All right, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Health Movement Podcast. I'm Derek, your host. I am a certified personal trainer, teacher of over 20 years, and a two-sport collegiate athlete. Now that I'm saying that, I realize that was a very long time ago. I think my 25th reunion, which I couldn't go to this past weekend. So it's been a minute since I've been on the gridiron or on the track. But at one point in time, that's where I was. Anyway, this week is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have two shows this week. This first show is going to be a highlight show of the 5 guests that are coming on with me for our live show on Wednesday, June 18th at 8 p.m. You can find it on YouTube if you go to the Health Movement Podcast and give us a follow or subscribe there. You'll get notified as soon as it goes live, or you can just show up around 8. The goal is to raise money for veterans through Team 1 Mile. If you listen to Chris Bachman's episode, she went into it in detail there, but it is working with Gold Star families and veterans, people who have lost family that were in the service, and it's trying to help and provide for them. So it's an incredible cause. Please join us. It should be a lot of fun. It is the first live event we've done, and I know the guests are awesome. They will be Chris Bachman, Kate Clark, Joel Diego, Sam Coop, and Kevin Stark, all incredibly talented and smart individuals, well-spoken. So it should be a fun time. We'll kind of have a roundtable discussion and also take listener questions. So if you have any, you can always leave the comment in this episode or the next one that's coming out later this week if you want, or you can hop over to Instagram at derek.josephs is my handle there. You can ask me questions there as well. So this episode is going to just be a highlight of previous conversations I've had with those 5 individuals that all talk about resilience through adversity. So it's all, struggles and journeys that they've gone through in different ways to look at certain things. So it's going to be a shorter one today. It'll be 20 to 25 minutes long. And then on Wednesday, I have a really cool guest. Katie Van Doren is an elite pickleball player, a triathlete, and she's also launching a new life coaching business that's going to be coming out. Actually, her show's coming out Wednesday, and actually Katie's life coaching business is going live on Tuesday of this week, and we're recording the show that night, so it'll be coming out the following morning. That is going to be a fun conversation because she has a wide range of experiences and expertise that we'll be able to talk about. So I just want to give a quick disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, neither any of the guests on the show. So please consult your physician before changing diet or nutrition or anything like that. Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to get into the live highlight show. And to be honest, this was really cool for me to go back through these episodes because it had been a couple months, sometimes a little longer for some of these guests, and just their insight was really cool to hear then and really cool to listen to now. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is coming out on Monday. There will be another one coming out on Wednesday. That will be a regular episode. Live show, June 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Please tell everybody you've ever spoken to in your life that they should go over to YouTube that night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and give us a watch. Thank you. Did you ever think in 2019 at 220 pounds that you'd be on a stage in a fitness competition?
No.
That would,
No.
looking back at that is one hell of an accomplishment. Like, you should be incredibly proud of yourself to not
That's
only be
wild
able
to
to
me.
be up there, but to have the confidence to do it too. Because I can imagine that to 2019 Kate is terrifying on many levels. And now
Oh, yeah.
you did it and you're doing it again. You're looking
I'm
forward to
doing it
doing it
again.
again. That's
I know.
incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't
awesome.
even imagine that years ago. Like, no way.
They-
Looking at my suit, and I'm like, yeah, right. Like, 2019, that's like a piece of dental floss that looks like to me. I'm going to wear that in front of, like, how many hundreds people?
Mr. New Guy asking for help. And after I did that, I remember a couple other guys come up to me like, "I'm so glad you asked because I don't know what the heck is going on."
But that's like I think there's a level of respect people have when you're willing to admit you like I don't know, and they're all like, "Shoot, I don't know either," but I didn't want to say anything, you know. So yeah, that's definitely there. Who did you ask for help? Was there somebody in the job you're in now, or some sort of mentor or something?
Oh, tons of folks. Yeah, I mean, gosh, just people I've crossed paths with, friends I've been in the teams with, asked them for plenty of advice and help. Senior folks, even my peers. Asking a peer is great, because they're on the same level as you. They see and experience the same things you are. So their inputs are often relevant to what you can do about it, right? Some people are like, "Oh, follow your passion." It's like, hey, it's easy to say when you're like a billionaire and you're like, spent 40 years of your life hustling. You know what I mean? It's like, but if no judgment, but it's like sometimes people who are in the same trench, so to speak, can give you great feedback because they give it in the context that you're in as well. But yeah, I ask people all the time for feedback and thoughts and advice, and I don't take it all the time, but
No.
there's so many times when I'm like, what could this person probably know? And I'll ask, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was like one of the most insightful things I've ever heard. And once again, like humility just like smacks you in the face, and it's like, okay, good, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I'll ask almost anybody for thoughts and advice.
It's always great to hear, and I think a lot of that is perspective too, right? Like it's having a different and especially coming going back to my own experiences, like that's a big one for me. Is like a lot of the times it's hard for me to see things other than my own perspective, and hearing it from another view, and especially when you're talking about peers, like I think that's a thing with the peer perspective is like if somebody's always looking at it a different angle or a different view from you, and I think it's great to kind of give that depth and give that clarity and really kind of see it from another angle is a big thing, and I think that's a great point there too.
My scale stayed exactly the same, but I lost 2.5 inches off my waist. Muscle weighs more.
Yes.
And I like my figure more now. I have an hourglass shape that I really didn't have before. My skin looks tighter. A lot of my cellulite is gone. That's all from strength training. But did I have to get used to seeing that number go up because muscle weighs more? Yeah. But I think I look 10 times fitter. My waist is the same exact size, but the scale is just so misleading and it can really bring somebody down when they don't see it move. But you might have lost 5 pounds of body fat and gained 3 pounds of lean muscle, which increases your metabolism and allows you to eat more food to begin with. So I think a lot of women, especially, have to get used to not relying on that scale as their form of progress.
It was just a different style, but in the end, it paid off. And so fast forwarding to that race in October, COVID happens. I'd been running that whole time. I was ready to race. I'm like, I have to do something. And so we found this race. It was like an in-person race. I didn't have to do it virtually.
That's good.
And I'm like, okay, we're going out to Antelope Island. I have no idea where this is. And so this island is the landscape I would describe as like running on the moon, except for there's wild bison roaming around.
Wow.
It is such a wild place. It's beautiful.
So
Don't get me
you
wrong.
had bison while you were running, you could see them
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything?
Yeah, they were
Wow.
like right on the road, like right next to you.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Yeah. So that was so you couldn't have any spectators there, but there was enough of us running to support each other through the race. And that was my first marathon win. So it
you
came
won
back.
too.
People come in, my clients a lot of times come in with really bad habits, right? So if you're getting somebody that's just getting started in their journey, like they're going to have a lot of bad habits, nutrition habits that we need to change. And so we don't need to do a 180 all at once, right? So we can do a little bit at a time and work our way all the way till we turned around going in the right direction. So I like to have people first just get our calories in order, right? People are consuming too many calories on a daily basis. So if we can we can scale the calories back and get them knowing what their numbers are, and sticking with those, and make sure they're getting enough protein and not consuming too many calories. We kind of let the carbs and the fats take up the rest of the calories, especially in the beginning. Like, don't get yourself overwhelmed with trying to figure out everything. Don't go over your calories, get enough protein, get good at doing that. And then once we get rolling with that, we'll start moving in lots more nutritious foods and, things that will fill in the nutrition part of those macros. And
So do you have them like, oh, sorry, go ahead, Joel.
change some of those bad habits, and making sure that they have an idea of where all these calories come from, because people have even if people don't track their calories, I like to tell people, if we're not going to be tracking our macros and someone wants to do a different type of diet, which I've done for people too, it's a good idea just to track your calories for a week, just to see how many calories come in from places that you're not even thinking about, whether it's olive oil, dressing, things like this, just a snack here, a snack there. And next thing you know, you're over by 300 calories. And you do that every day. Now you're over, 1,000 calories for the week. And you're wondering, like, why am I not losing weight? I'm eating healthy, right? So, people can fall into the habit of eating healthy and not knowing their numbers too, and not lose weight. So, get a handle on your numbers, and then let's work on getting more nutritious foods in there along the way. That's what I do for myself. That's what I have success with my clients.
You should set goals that scare you a little bit.
Yes.
So that bodybuilding show was certainly out of my comfort zone.
How did that first
Definitely.
conversation go? Who brought that up initially?
So, I had been a lifestyle client of Talia's.
Yep.
Talia DeLuca for a while. I would say we started together in September of 23, and it was around springtime, like early spring of 24, and Talia's like, I think you would really do well in bodybuilding. Like, have you ever thought of that? She was the one that brought it up to me.
Was your reaction, were you laughing at her, or were you like...
And I'm like, I always kind of wanted to, but I never thought like that was ever in the cards for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like imposter syndrome, like, yeah, right. Like, look at how ripped these ladies are, like that. Imagine like the discipline, like to get to that point. I don't know. But when she brought it up, she's like, like you adhere so well to, like, especially the nutrition piece, that it wouldn't really be that different than what you're doing right now. And I said, you know what? I think this is my time. If I'm going to do it, there's no perfect time. I'm just going to step out of that comfort zone, and I'm just going to do it. I'm jumping in.
You had mentioned when we were kind of going back and forth beforehand, some energy transfer that you wanted to talk a little bit about. Any chance you can go a little deeper into that?
Yeah, it's just an interesting concept. When I was first starting out in my coaching after I retired, I think the original mantra, or the best advice I thought I could give people, was based in, just suck it up, like be tougher, mental toughness, like do what you can to withstand like whatever life throws at you. Like, you're just going to have to build yourself to be strong, to withstand things, and suck it up. And I think that was a big part of that carried over from the teams, where, it's like, hey, if you're sitting in cold water, you just need to suck it up. If you haven't eaten in a few days, you just need to suck it up. And so I would take that, and incorrectly, people are asking for advice, like, hey, I'm dealing with this at work. I got this going on, kids. I'm like, well, I wouldn't say it, but I'm like, okay, how do I tell this person to suck it up and give them like the right techniques? And then I started thinking, I was always fascinated with endurance, like how long can you go? How far can you go? And I was trying to equate that to human performance. And I think that's incorrect. It's, endurance is like if you start a marathon you're going to have some amount of energy in the tank, and you're just going to go as far and as fast as you can go until either you reach the finish or the tank is empty, right?
Yeah.
Um, you will never at any point in that race be stronger than you are at the start. So that's like endurance is just, all right, throw in another rock, I'll carry it as far as I can go. And I think we do that sometimes professionally in our careers, and people are finding out when I was working, especially with people in healthcare during COVID, like this is not sustainable. Like endurance is not working because I'm breaking, and there's patients that are keep coming in the door. So I had to get people to think about, Tim, what you were talking about, performance. How do I find moments to recover and regenerate so I can build my capacity to perform, right? So it's not just like a downward slope of energy. It's how do I ride this wave, right? Where I'm energized.
I was newly pregnant. I registered for school, and I said, I'm going back to school to be a personal trainer because I need to figure out how to get my body back, and I'm not going through postpartum depression again. So it was for my mental and my physical health for me that originally got me back into school. As soon as I gave birth to him, I was like 2 months postpartum. I chucked it back to downtown at the National Personal Training Institute of Chicago. I did 500 hours in 6 months, and I got my diploma.
Wow.
There, so I was there basically as a full-time job. And I wouldn't change it for a thing. I not only found myself and my confidence in a physique that I didn't even have prior to having kids, but I found a love and a passion for helping others who feel lost in that as well. Not just in pre-postnatal in general in life, but I have a passion for pre-postnatal just because that was my hard-hitting life change.
I have done the Antelope Island Marathon in Utah.
Oh,
it's
never heard of
on the largest island on the Great Salt Lake.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know it was a totally wild like adventure. It happened in 2020 when a lot of races were canceled, and I had been training back up a little bit. I came off of a major injury that kind of changed the whole trajectory of running for me. I had a stress fracture in my sacrum, which is the bone that connects basically your spine to your hips.
Oh,
And it's very rare, and it took a long time to get a diagnosis. It was a very frustrating period for me. I ran Boston, and I knew I was injured going into the race, but I didn't want to tell anyone.
Chris, come
I,
on.
I mean, who does that?
Yeah, yeah.
But I was raising money for a dear friend's foundation, and I
Okay.
didn't want to let her down. And I was just like, I can get through this. I can grit through it. And after the race, I started to train again for a fall marathon, and I like knew something was majorly wrong, and I just couldn't figure it out. I saw every specialist you could think of. I went to PT, OT, you name it. I saw every person,
Yeah.
chiropractors, and I would get better, and then I'd get worse, and I'd get better, and I'd get worse. And finally, I had an MRI in October, and the report came back. It said there's nothing wrong. And then my orthopedic doctor looked at it and was like, you have a stress fracture in your sacrum. And so that meant I had 12 weeks off of running, or ended up being 14, which was devastating to me. Like,
Yeah.
I move almost every single day of my life. Like, I have to do some kind of activity. I don't sit well. And my identity was wrapped so much up into being a runner. And so now I didn't have that anymore.
When was this again? I'm sorry.
This was 2019.
2019. Okay. Oh,
Yep.
so that
And
2020 race was huge then.
it was my comeback race.
Yeah.
In so many different ways. And so he's like, the only thing you can do is swim. And I'm like, okay, I hate the pool. I can swim. I just didn't know how to swim a stroke. But I got to the gym. I had my goggles and my swim cap, and I cried my eyes out in the car for like 5 minutes. And then I was like, okay, you had your pity party, like, get over it and get in the pool. And that's what I did. And I forced myself to learn how to swim a stroke. And then eventually I showed up at master swim classes. I did not belong there at all. But they were so nice to me and they knew why I was there because I wanted to push myself.
Yeah.
I didn't just want to be bobbing around in the pool for 14 weeks.
So I weighed 225 pounds. So someone who's, with my body frame, I'm pretty petite, 5'4". My cholesterol was through the roof. My doctors wanted to place me on medication. I have pictures of me just in a heart monitor, a halter, because I was having anxiety issues and like heart palpitations, and I just wasn't really in a good mindset. It was a dark time.
So it was far
For
more
me.
than just a number on a scale. That was the
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, motherhood is just it's tough. It's tough. It's late nights, you don't sleep, you don't know what day it is. Like you're just delirious. Like so you don't have time to shower, it's just basically whatever food is laying around, but yeah, my health mentally was just not there. Depression, anxiety, all of those things. And I look back and I'm like, you know what? I refused the medication.
That's good.
So I said, I'm going to take care of this on my own. I'm going to see if I can just take care of this through fitness and nutrition. I'm going to do it old school.
Warrior's really big in our culture. Like, oh, you got to be a warrior this, like warrior protein powder. And it's like, well, what is a warrior? And only you can answer that question for yourself. And I know there's a lot of noise and voices out there, and some of them might align with you, some might not. But ultimately, the question of being a warrior is up to you, because what makes you a warrior is what is that challenge in front of you that you're going to be warring with that involves some element of self-sacrifice or challenge or adapting yourself, right? Like you guys train people to be stronger and more fit and healthy so that they can adapt their bodies to overcome an obstacle. I feel like now we have it a little bit backwards where we adapt our external circumstances based on how we feel. Like, oh, I'm tired, order pizza. Or, I feel bad, I'm going to pick up this thing. And, God knows where that takes me. Instead of
showing the phone in case you can't see it.
Instead of, hey, here's the nature of my path and where I want to go. How do I look inward and change myself to meet this challenge and to meet these needs? So I think that's a big aspect of being a warrior is the humility to look within and say, where am I not hitting the mark? But then also the confidence to say, but I believe in myself, I can do it. Right. So that's the I call it the ego sword, right? Is like the humility of seeking wisdom.
All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time. That was a little stroll through memory lane there. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Again, June 18th at 8 p.m. It's an incredible cause, helping veteran and Gold Star families through Team 1 Mile. So please join us on YouTube. And in all honesty and sincerely, please spread the word as best you can, because we'd love to help out as many people as possible. Again, hop over to YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, and let's get as many people on this as we possibly can. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day.